The question is that there are a lot of people, masses of the people nowadays. They don't really understand or know what's going on, or even some of them don't really care, about there's khilaf and established. For them, it's okay, back to work. For him, it's like nothing happened. It's insane. The biggest news in the century, and people are like, just another day at work. It's really strange. So how do you explain this? From the Quran and Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ, he prophesied this. He said that the buttonholes of Islam will become undone one after the other. And the first knot to be undone will be the knot of ruling. Okay, the authority, the ruling by Islam. And the last one will be the salah. So you see, obviously this was the prophecy of Rasulullah. We knew that the Islam will slowly become departing from the people's mentality and minds and memories, and people start to not really pay attention to it. And the first thing that will be absent from their own minds is the issue of ruling by Islam. Okay, the khilafah. They start to become content, living in dar al-kufr, living in whatever. They don't care. So this is the first thing that was removed. And that's what we're living in today. The strange time. And he said Islam started as something strange and will return as something strange. Okay, so we are living in that second al-ghurbat al-thani, the second period of strangeness, where the basic matters of Islam, of ruling by Islam, khilafah, sharia, it seems alien to the people. The masses, most of the people, they think it's so strange. Even in narrated, there will come a time when there will be people who, there's nothing left of their Islam except for their name. And they just say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, because their parents used to say it. They say to each other, I don't know what it means, but my parents used to say it, so I say it. So the people, they have the tawheed only based upon that simple, basic concept that they got from their parents imitating them. Okay, we are nearly at that time. You can see how that can happen. So it's something which is known will happen, and we are seeing it with our own eyes. And I'm sure, the Sahaba, when they heard these ahadith, they were probably thinking, how could that happen? How can people forget about Islam? Is such the biggest blessing in their life? And they're thinking, for them, I'm sure they could not imagine, having a time when the Muslims, they didn't even know their own deen. The Muslims didn't even really care. They probably couldn't imagine it. For a long time, probably people read these hadith and think, that's very strange. How could that happen? And yet we're seeing it with our own eyes. We're seeing it ourselves. The basic things about Islam, the people don't know it, or they are trying to fight it. They're trying to debate it. I remember watching some of these programs, the moderate programs. Chocolate, whatever you want to call it. Yeah? We call them chocolate because they melt, you see. They melt with the kuffar. Either they get melt and become mixed up with the kuffar, or they get eaten by the kuffar. One or the other. One of these programs, I remember the question came from the audience, and it was all a Muslim panel kind of thing, and they said, look, what does Islam say about homosexuality? They said, well, it says it's not good, but maybe there's some kind of ijtihad we can make. So, you don't understand, that's not what ijtihad is. Ijtihad is not about finding a way to make it halal. Okay? That's the way people are mentality, they're thinking. They want to just fit in with the kuffar so badly. They want to change everything about Islam. So we're living in those strange times now, where Islam has become so rare, and the few people. And the Prophet said that there will all continue to be a portion of my ummah. Ta'ifa is a small portion. Whereas the majority will be from the 72 sects that is misguided in hellfire. Whereas only just one portion, they are on the haqq, on the truth, standing for the truth. And they don't care who lets them down. Okay? Like the hadith said that the kuffar will gather around us and eat like people eating at a dinner table. Okay? And the Sahaba said, look, will we be small in number at that time? He said, no, you'll be many people, you have great numbers, but you'll be useless, like the froth on the sea, on the river. And Allah will take away the fear from the enemy and put in your heart the wahan, the fear of death and the love for this dunya. So this is what we see in the majority of the masses of the people, while there's only a small portion of the ummah, which is At-Ta'ifa al-Mansura, that victorious group, that Allah will give them the victory in their hand. Allah will give them that victory. So it's nothing strange to see, rather it is what has been prophesied and what we should expect to see as well, inshallah. Okay? But the lesson to learn from all this hadith is, be with that small portion, don't be with the masses. Be with the Ta'ifa al-Zahira, because they are the ones that saved the saved sect. They are the ones that will be on the day of judgment, where the faces will be bright. Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah will be in Jannah, while the rest of them will have to answer for their own sins.